Hi everybody, Terry Harding here, wishing all mothers a very happy Mother's Day. Well, I wanted to just have a look at Mother's Day and just explore that a little bit with you. The very first modern Mother's Day was celebrated on the 10th of May 1908 by Anna Jarvis in her church in West Virginia, USA. She gave out carnations in honour of her mother. So there's a picture of Anna Jarvis, and she was the one who started this modern Mother's Day movement and tradition off way back. Now, Anna loved her mother, and her mother's name is Anne Reeves Jarvis. She lived from 1832 to 1905, and Anna wanted to really celebrate this special lady. Anne Jarvis had 11 children, including her daughter Anna, and she was very committed to working for the healing of her war-torn nation, the USA. She worked for this healing and health and reconciliation before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and after the Civil War. And that was from 1861 to 65. Anna cared for the wounded soldiers on both sides, on the north and the south. They were the two warring and opposing sides during that Civil War, and Anne trained many women to assist with these wounded soldiers. She also promoted the importance of the role of mothers in society and how that mothers were an important contributor to the health of her nation. Anne promoted women's health across the USA. She promoted mothers' friendship clubs. She helped with the reduction of the deaths of babies through educating women in particular about health and hygiene in their homes. And this was great for the reduction of the death of babies in her nation. She, of course, fed and clothed and cared for wounded soldiers on both the north and south sides of the Civil War. And she was a Christian lady, and she taught Sunday school in a church. She was a very busy person and contributed wonderfully, not only to her family, but to her nation. So this is why Anna, the daughter, sought to remember her mother by lobbying for the initiation of Mother's Day. So Anna, that's Anne's daughter, Anna continued her mother's work with Mother's Day friendship clubs, and she continued addressing public health issues across the United States. And finally, she got Mother's Day recognized. It took a while, but in 1910 it was officially recognised as an important day. And by 1914 it was a recognised holiday on a Sunday. So not too sure about the holiday factor there. She was looking to educate her nation about the importance of mothers, about the importance of motherhood, a very vital factor that works its way in families right across the world today. The importance of maternal bonds, the bond between a mother and her child, very strong, very precious. And this is an important bond that helps the development of children. And Anna was committed to educating people about this important maternal bond. She also promoted the importance of the influence of mothers in society and how mothers would contribute to creating a healthy society. Now, the first Mother's Day was a time where hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of carnations were given out in Anna's church. Why a white carnation? Well, she said that it was a symbol of a mother's pure love, and she was just wanting to promote this concept of the beauty of a mother's love. And so she encouraged children to produce a card for their mum, just a simple card. And Anna became very upset when commercialisation and took over the concept of Mother's Day, and people would spend lots and lots of money, and companies would make lots and lots of money as a result of the giving of gifts on Mother's Day. So that really upset Anna. But she was committed to just saying to children, just love your mother, and on Mother's Day, make a card for her. Now, with Mother's Day, there's an important lesson in English grammar here. Mother's Day has an apostrophe. See down there on the right-hand side, that squiggly line's an apostrophe. And what Anna wanted to show that the way you spell Mother's Day is using an apostrophe very carefully. It was not Mother's Day, M-O-T-H-E-R-S apostrophe, meaning a day for all mothers. It was to be spelt as Mother's Day, M-O-T-H-E-R apostrophe S day, meaning just for one mum. And all the millions of children around the world, each of them have their mum, their mother. And so she was adamant that Mother's Day had to be spelt with S apostrophe, meaning one mother, one special mum, because everyone has a mum. What about in Australia? Australia has Mother's Day as well. In fact, Mother's Day became popular right across the world. And Mother's Day was officially initiated by the works of another mother, Mrs. Janet Hayden of Leichhardt in Sydney. Now, Janet, in 1924 and onwards, started visiting ladies at the Newington State Home for Women. This was a place where many women would go to live, women who were lonely. They were forgotten. They had lost their families. And so she would visit these women. She raised funds to purchase gifts for these women and started distributing these gifts around the Newington State Home and beyond, and started to really promote again the idea of the importance of women and the importance of mothering and motherhood. She started this tradition of giving gifts, and she actually dealt with many of Australia's famous companies, and they would give donations of money for her to buy gifts that would assist lonely and forgotten women, firstly in Sydney and then across all the states. She was there to cheer up lonely mothers. Now, in Australia, we give out chrysanthemums on Mother's Day. Now, why a chrysanthemum? Well, in Australia, chrysanthemums are in season during May, so that's an important reason. But secondly, and lightheartedly, that flower name ends in mum. So they thought this is a good flower to represent Mother's Day in Australia. There's a few more chrysanthemums. Now, the Bible talks about motherhood right through, but I just wanted to pick one of my favourite passages which refers to motherhood. Now, Paul, the apostle, talked about mothers in 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 7 to 8. And he talks about mothers and that they are to be gentle among their children. They make themselves to be gentle with their own children. They are to nurture and nourish their children. They are to be loving toward their children, to be affectionate and kind. And even deeper than that, they are to be imparters of spirituality to their children, to teach them about God, to teach them how to have faith and how to pray. And that mothers are imparting their very souls or their very lives to their children. And that's a wonderful thing. And that still happens today. So, when do you think KFC has its busiest day? Often I ask this question. I used to work as a cook for KFC when I was at university. And our busiest day every year was not Christmas Day, wasn't Easter, it was always Mother's Day, when dads cooked lunch for mum on Mother's Day. So where would we be without our mothers? We wouldn't be alive. Can you say a special thank you to your mum on Mother's Day? Why not give mum a small gift? Or why not make a great card for her? She'll be so happy to receive that from you. That will make her day special. And don't forget to give her a big hug and a kiss. Don't forget to say, thank you, Mum. Thank you, Mum. Doesn't matter whether you're old or young, to speak to your mums. What a wonderful privilege that is. And don't forget what God says. He says, make sure you honour your father and, in this case, your mother. So, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Bye for now.